You'll float too. The tagline to 2017's It Reincarnation. I say reincarnation as I don't think the word remake genuinely describes what they have done here. They've taken the essence, the core of the book and the original movie adaptation and they've reinvented it, subtly. Straight in, I'll just say I had a fantastic time with this movie, though it's not without what I would call some problems. However, I think it's an absolutely fantastic film. A cast can make or break a film, and a cast entirely comprised of children or young actors is one that runs high risks. However, it is an extremely well cast film. Not once did I look at the actors on screen and think, these are just people acting. So in that vein, the actors did a fantastic job. I was pulled in, engaged, and along for the ride. There isn't anyone I would say who particularly outshone anyone. They all did a stellar job, and even the emotional parts of the film had me somewhat believing the cast. But of course, how did Bill Skarsgård do as Pennywise? Is he Tim Curry light? Imitation Tim Curry? No. Not at all. Skarsgård owns this role. You can see some influences from Tim Curry's performance, but that could simply be down to the script. Skarsgård absolutely owns it. He is Pennywise the Dancing Clown. An incredible performance, disturbing, chilling, unnerving, and engaging. The voice was superb, and the level of facial expressions this guy can pull off is truly a talent unto itself. So let's get to some pros and cons. The effects. Now this falls under pros and cons, but the effects are all genuinely fantastic. There wasn't a shot in there that I thought, ooh, that looks a little bit off and maybe they cut some corners on the budget there. The only times the effects threw me were when I believe they were trying to capture a certain stylistic choice. Namely when Pennywise was running at one of the characters and we see him dead center shot, the background faded, and the difference between the two is somewhat jarring. But as I said, I think that simply is down to an aesthetic they were going for, a sort of nostalgic vibe, if you will. I would even go as far as to say some effects were inspired by previous films, namely the wonky-faced woman being extremely reminiscent of Mama, a Del Toro creature. The similarities are incredibly uncanny. But as I say, the effects are superb. This is a film that has solid acting and great effects that are there to simply enhance the performance from the actors. Is it heavy on CG? Sure, but it has to get the desired look in certain scenes, and it certainly isn't of detriment to the film at all. The use of practical sets and locations were awesome, some truly beautiful locations, if they weren't tainted by Pennywise, of course. So, is the film scary? Is it breaking the horror genre and reinventing it like many people have said? No, definitely not reinventing it. Is it scary? Sure. In parts, it definitely has some scares there. The movie does, however, fall into the trap of some pretty obvious setup for jump scares, which sometimes don't land. Some of the most disturbing and I guess you could say scary stuff is what Bill does with his face, movements, etc. This is what made the movie more chilling for me at the very least. That's not to say the theatre that I watched it at didn't have most people jumping around and shrieking here and there at what they were seeing, so it does fall down to personal opinion and what you react to, I guess. As previously stated, it definitely doesn't reinvent anything. Does it stand potentially at the top of the all-time scariest films for the last 5 years or so? It really does have the potential, yeah. There isn't anything I specifically disliked about this movie, only the fact that some of the shots were a little bit off, but as I said, I think that's the aesthetic they were going for. And I guess just that it was a little predictable, but what scary movie isn't these days? I'd highly recommend viewing this on an IMAX screen if you can. The visual elements would be served best on such a large and quality screen. It's also something I would recommend going out to the theatre for as well. Sure, you could wait for home release, but I think your best viewing experience for this would be on the big screen, and it is worth the price of admission. The soundtrack was also great, inventive, and fun in parts. Another string to this film's bow. But what did you guys think of It? That is, of course, if you've seen It. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and if you did enjoy this video, then please consider leaving it a like and subscribing to the channel for more reviews in the future. If you think this video is worth it and you want to support the channel, then please head on over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description box. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comment section.